Ave Satanas, Ave Lucifera, Ave Lord Belial, Ave Lord Leviathan, Ave Beautiful Queen Lilith, Ave Queen Astaroth, Ave King Azazel, Ave King Paimon, Ave Lord Maimon, Ave Beautiful Queen Lilith, Ave King Lucifer, and Ave to and hail to every one of my true brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters who are 100% true in Father Satan, in whatever path they're following on the left-hand path. Ave Satanas, hail Satan. Yeah, I wanted to do a video about, it's about left-hand path, okay? I just gotta light a cigarette first. I'll just be a sec. I'll find my lighter. No, I got it here somewhere. Yeah, it's about, it's about individuality. It's about freedom, number one, okay? It's about freedom in the left-hand path, okay? It's about freedom of the left-hand path that us as individuals have. Me speaking of everybody on the left-hand path, like the true left, you know, whether it be demonolatry, or whether they be a demon altar, theistic Satanists, traditional Satanists, spiritual Satanists, anti-cosmic Satanists, you know, whether they be into necromancy, Satanism, or what have you. The freedom is one of the great things about it. It's one of the great things about the left-hand path and about the left-hand path in general. Whether you practice, like I said, necromancy, you know, because usually you can practice 3 or 4, you can practice 100, you can practice different parts of left-hand path. Me personally, okay, I started out in Satanism, okay, years ago. I started out in Satanism, and as I grew in Satanism, I also branched out into necromancy. That was also years ago, and with that also tied in with, you know, and I also demon altar, right, which I've been doing for years. But with the necromancy, how I branched out really in the necromancy was obviously through Satanism, right? But even though there are different paths, okay, you know, with different parts of beliefs and stuff like that, I also did ghost hunting. Now, I done ghost hunting for years, like, and I started up a group, like, not on social media. Well, it is on social media, but I started it up like outside of social media, obviously, with the ghost hunting, and I was doing that for years, and I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, I did love it, like my ghost hunting and that got me into necromancy, doing my ghost hunting. Like, it really did. Like, I had some personal, very personal, 100% real experiences with human spirits, you know. And when I got into when I tied my Satanism into that, when I kind of mixed it in a little bit, it got more real into it, because the main thing I started doing with it is, obviously, I studied it before I got into it, and I was studying it as I was going along, you know, and I still study it. I still read up on it, certain books, things like that. The same thing with Satanism. I still, even though I was on Satanism a nice while, you'll never learn it all. I don't care who you are. You can be the smartest person in your classroom, in junior high, minor school, kids school, primary school. You can be the smartest kid in your classroom. You can be the smartest kid in junior high. You can be the smartest kid in high school. But that doesn't mean that when it comes to the left-hand path, you're no smarter than the next fellow to you, or the next girl to you, next woman to you. Because, like I said earlier, the left-hand path is a very individual path. And the freedom of the left-hand path is just amazing compared to organized religion. The freedom of the left-hand path I love. I really do. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. I love the left-hand path. I love being a Satanist, a traditional Satanist. And the more I read, and I do read a lot, believe you me, and I do a lot of reading, but I keep my reading to myself. I keep my reading to myself. Now, one of these days I might do a video on, one of these times I might do a video just on the books I got, right? How's it going, buddy? Not bad of yourself. That's good. Yeah, I might do a video just on the books that I have, right? Like on traditional Satanism in general. Because I have LaVey's books, but the LaVeyans, they're basically atheists, which I still don't understand why they call themselves Satanists when they're atheists. That one boggles my mind. And the same thing with the people in the Temple of Satan. They're atheists. They say they don't believe in any deities, any gods at all. But yet they still say that they're Satanists. Like, that don't even make sense to me. It really doesn't. But that's not what this video is about. I could do 20-hour video on that one. But anyway, no, you have to. One thing about the left-hand path, you'll never learn it all. And one thing about Satanism, whether it's traditional Satanism, anti-cosmic Satanism, whatever kind of Satanism it is, you'll never learn it all, and I don't care who you are. You'll come across a lot of people in your lifetime, if you hear this video, you'll come across a lot of people in your lifetime that think they know everything. Okay? They're everywhere. Like, they're just not in Satanism. They're everywhere in life. Like, you always got your people that think they know it all. Whether you're at work, there's always one that knows it all. Or thinks they know it all. But, in reality, I think that's just their self-esteem is really low. Right? I really do. This is what I think about know-alls, okay? I think their self-esteem is low. And by pretending they know it all, or know more than the next person, I think it boosts them up somehow. It builds I think, like, inside their mind, it builds their self-esteem or something by thinking that they know everything. Right? Because, in reality, they're the ones that know very little. Like, they think they know it all, okay? But, in reality, they don't know very much. And they're probably not happy with their life at their home, right? If they're married, they're probably not happily married. If they're single, they're, probably questioning themselves why they haven't got if it's a male, questioning themselves why they haven't got a girlfriend. Or if they're a female, they're probably questioning themselves why they don't have a boyfriend. But in saying that, they're just, I believe that their self-esteem is really low, and that's their way they build their self-esteem up. By pretending they know it all, and pretending they're better than everybody else. Now don't get me wrong, I think it's great to have egos, right? Everybody should have an ego. But, when it comes to having egos, there's a line. There's a line there saying, okay, now, I need to keep my ego in check. Because I don't know it all. I think I do. I portray to the world I portray to the people that I speak with or whatever, but I don't I don't know it all. There's a lot that a lot of people don't know. An awful lot, actually, that a lot of people don't know. I don't know it all. I wish I did. I really do wish I did. No, actually, I don't. I'm glad I don't know it all, because that gives me more incentive to read, study, learn from other people. You know, that gives me more incentive, like I just said, to read. You know, different books on the occult, different books on the left-hand path. You know, no matter what path it is, whether it's necromancy, demonolatry, traditional Satanism, theistic Satanism, you know, spiritual Satanism. That gives me the opportunity to learn and study as much as I can. And believe you me, I do a lot of reading. Just because I got a lot of tattoos, and just because I got just because I got a lot of tattoos, just because I, you know, keep my head shaved, bald, and just because I got a big goatee, doesn't mean that I don't do a lot of reading. Believe you me, because I do. And on left-hand path books, when I do a lot of reading, what I do is I find what works in the books that people write. I find what would work on the path that would help me on my path grow, right? That's the whole point. I take what I can out of the books that I read, and the parts that would help me grow, okay, I use. And the parts that I know are not going to help me at all, I don't use. I just toss them aside. I compare that to be honest with you, I compare that to, you know, mixed martial arts when I was doing, because I got my 3rd degree black belt in the American Academy of Martial Arts. I got my black belt in that, so 3rd degree black belt, actually. I got my 3rd degree black belt in that, actually. I just don't go around bragging about it. You know, why would I? I don't need to go around bragging about it. My self-esteem is not that low that I need to go bragging about it. But anyway, what I used to do, what I did in that, my sensei, what he taught me, he's dead and gone now, but what he died years ago, but what he taught me was, take what you need, okay? Take what you know you might help you on the street, like if somebody tried to cause trouble with you or something like that, okay? Take what you need, take what you know will work, right? Out of each discipline, be it karate, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, Shotokan karate, taekwondo, anything. Take what you can use, take what you know will work, and apply that to yourself, and then just toss the rest aside. And that's what I do in Satanism, in my belief system. That's what I do. I use out of books, like different grimoires and different books. I take what I can use, and I discard the rest. And that's the truth. I really do. And I've done that for years. And now you got to remember too, I got into Satanism before the internet. There was no internet when I got into Satanism, into traditional Satanism. There was no internet. There was no such thing as Facebook. There was no such thing as YouTube. There was no such thing as Instagram. There was no such thing as Google. There was none of that stuff. Microsoft wasn't even around. Then Microsoft, like in '98, I got on my first computer in 1998. It wasn't mine. It belonged to a school I was attending. But it's still a computer. And I bought my first brand new laptop like in 2012. My first brand new one. And I used that and that gave out like maybe 6 months ago. And then I had to go buy a new one, which cost me a lot of money, but I had to buy it anyway because I needed it. But anyway, that has nothing to do with the other. But with Satanism, yeah, you have to study as much as you can. And I mean study. I don't mean just, get a book and not use it. I mean study. Learn off other people. People that know what they're talking about. Because if you go online nowadays, everybody seems to know it all about different belief systems. Whether it be necromancy, whether it be demonolatry, whether it be theistic, spiritual, or traditional Satanism, whether it be LaVeyan Satanism, I don't even call that Satanism, I just call that atheism. The same thing with the Temple of Satan, I just call that atheism. But anyway, yeah, you can the freedom is there, man. We got the freedom nowadays that we can just pull up on our phone and do a video and then pop it on YouTube. Or pop it on Facebook, pop it on Twitter, pop it on Instagram. All kinds of different social media sites. But with that being said, the main thing is that one of the main things I enjoy about Satanism, traditional Satanism especially, is the freedom that we have. Like, there's no laws saying we can't do this and we can't do that, like fucking giant belief systems. Like, we can do whatever we want, within reason, right? You're not going to go around killing people. You're not going to go around murdering people, right? Ganking people. You're not going to go around ganking people, because if you do, you know where you'll end up. You'll end up in jail or dead, one or the other, right? So there is a limit. There is a line, right? But you have your fun, man. You do your studying. You find, and if you're looking for a certain demon to do a pact with, come on, I'll do a different video on this. Okay? Ave Satanas, Ave Lucifera, Ave Beautiful Queen Lilith, Ave King Azazel, Ave King Asmodee, Ave Lord Paimon, Ave Lord Maimon, Ave King Asmodeus. I'll talk to you next.